Okay, so I'm going to do some really quick miscellaneous questions for a friend of mine in first year university math. I think it's first year university math. Yeah, so follow with me. So I've got a function f of x, okay, equals x squared plus 8x plus 7. Okay. I need to characterize whether or not I need to find the vertex. Let me do it. So vertex, direction of opening, okay. Intercepts, so boom. And I think that's it. And then a graph. Okay. So we're just going to figure out how to do this. First of all, we need to figure out direction of opening. Now, there's a positive 1 in front of the x squared. That tells us that the opening is up. We also can find the roots because that can help us find the vertex, and I'll show you how. So if we know the roots, we can find the vertex easily. So let's see the roots. So the roots means that f of x is 0. So x squared plus 8x plus 7. We need two numbers that multiply to 7, add to 8. Easy. X plus 1, x plus 7. This means that our roots are negative 1 and 7. Okay. Our vertex will be exactly at the midpoint. Okay, because that's a parabola, right? It's perfectly symmetrical about the roots. Okay, so it's going to be exactly in the center. So all I have to do is find the midpoint here and divide by 2. Okay, so this is the equation of the midpoint. Add 1, add the other, divide by 2, that's the average. So negative 1 plus 7, that's 6. Over 2, that's 3. So it's at the x value of 3. That's where the vertex is located. Okay, so if the vertex is located at 3, I can plug in 3 into the original equation and find the y-coordinate of the vertex. Okay? F of 3 equals 3 squared plus 8 times 3 plus 7. All right, so I get 9 plus 24, right, plus 7. Let's see, this is 16 plus 24, that's 40. Okay. So I end up getting a vertex of 3, 40. All right, so I put that over here. Intercepts are when x equals 0, y equals 0. So I already have the x-intercepts, right? That's where I get the zeros. So that's at, so x is negative 1, 7, right? This is not an ordered pair, right? So this is not an ordered pair. So I'm just going to do this. X is negative 1 and 7. Y is equal to, let's see, plug in 0, 0, 0. It's going to be 7, okay? The roots again are negative 1 and 7, and so that's it. And I can actually plot this. So I just need a vertex at 3, 40, opening up, and those intercepts, and the plotting should be straightforward. Okay, so that's the first question. So I discard this, okay, and then I do the second question. Let's do it in full screen mode. Okay, so the second question involves determining the vertex for the following: x squared plus 4x minus 4, right? Let's find the vertex. Again, all you need is the actual zeros. So if I call this f of x, find the zeros, so set it to 0. Two numbers that multiply to negative 4 and add to positive 4. No such thing. I can't figure out the factoring that easily, so I can't do this factoring method then, right? Because I can't figure out two numbers that multiply to negative 4 and add to 4. So I can't do the factoring. Instead, I'm going to do completing the square. So let's see, f of x equals x squared plus 4x. Okay. Now if I take this guy, 4, and I divide by 2, I get 2, right? If I square that, I get 4. So I'm going to do this. So I'm going to go plus 4 minus 4, right? And this is going to be on its own. And then I'm going to subtract 4 because I still have this guy out there. Okay, so I really just added 0, right? Plus 4 and minus 4. Done nothing new to the problem. I'm going to add a second set of brackets, right, around this positive 4. This guy turns out to be x plus 2 squared. It's a perfect square. So I've got x plus 2 squared. There's a minus 4, bracket minus 4. And now I can kill off this set of brackets. I can kill them off. So I end up getting x plus 2 squared minus 8. Now this is called the vertex form of the quadratic, right? So I can right away label, figure out what my vertex is. So the vertex will be negative 2, negative 8. Done. I believe this part is that they want me to solve this question. So, okay, let's see. So the next question is solve this equation. 9x to the 4 plus 44x squared, oh boy, equals 5. All right, so I'm going to bring 5 over. Okay, well, this is straightforward, actually. It's not too shabby. First of all, I need two numbers that multiply to 9 times 5, that's 45, and add to, and it's, by the way, negative 45, and add to positive 44. Well, that's just the following. Positive 45, right? Oops, why don't I do this? That's just 45 and 1, right? So it's going to be minus 1 plus 45. So minus 1 x squared plus 45 x squared and minus 5 equals 0. Okay? So I close brackets, right? As part of the splitting of the middle term. What do I factor out here? Let's see. I factor out x squared, and I end up getting 9x squared minus 1. Okay? And here I can factor out 5, and so I get 9x squared minus 1 again. Okay? And I end up getting 9x squared minus 1 and x squared plus 5. Okay. Now, this is a difference of squares, because I can rewrite that as 3x squared minus 1 squared. Okay? And so I can do 3x plus 1, right? A minus b, a plus b. Why do I do that? 3x minus 1. So these together will bring about this product. And then I've got x squared plus 5, right? And they have listed also, they want to check if their imaginary numbers actually work out as well. So let's see. So I've got, if I solve this, I've got x equals plus or minus 1/3, right? So that will answer these two guys. And then this guy means that if I were to go imaginary numbers, right, I would do plus or minus I root 5. That would be an answer. Plus or minus I root 5. Okay, so these are my two sets of solutions. This is only if you're selecting real numbers. This is also if you're selecting complex numbers. Okay, so that's what I get. And so next, let's see. Okay, so next bit is solving an inequality. X plus 1 all over x minus 2 greater than or equal to 0. Now let's do the number line for this, right? So part of the number line involves selecting what gives me a 0 on the top, that's negative 1, and what gets me a 0 on the bottom, 2. Okay, now let's select numbers here, right? So let's select numbers between negative 1 and 2. An easy number to pick is 0, right? So if I plug in 0 into here, I get 0 plus 1, that is positive, and I get 0 minus 2, that's negative. A positive over a negative makes a negative. So right away, I don't satisfy the inequality. So this is a no-go. Okay, can't use that one. Why don't I cross out the actual line? Boom. Okay, Let's try really super negative numbers. So if we try really super negative numbers, I've got a negative, 500, negative a million. Let's try negative a million. I've got negative over negative, and that makes a positive, and I can even select -1. So this is a possible set of solutions. What about really positive? Really positive means the top is going to be really positive, the bottom is going to be really positive, and so that works. Okay. So the solution that I would pick, right, what I would say is the answer is the following. It would be x less than or equal to -1 and x greater than 2. Notice I don't do this. I don't put greater than or equal to 2 because x cannot be equal to 2 because you can't divide by 0. So this would be my solution set. And if I were to put it in different notation, let me see, just to double check my friend's answer. I would do -infinity. That's terrible. I would do -infinity, -1, and I would close bracket because it's included, right? And union with 2 with a circle bracket because that's not included, and infinity. So that would be my answer for that guy. Okay. And let's do this one. Let's do, okay. So we've got 7 over root of 6x. And you want to just simplify it a little bit. So we're going to multiply by root of 6x, okay? And what that's going to make on the bottom is root of 6x all squared, right? We're going to get 7 root of 6x, and we end up getting on the bottom 6x, right? So it's going to be 7 root of 6 root x, and all over 6x. That's what I would put as my final answer for that one. And so last one is a word problem, I believe. Let me just double check. 12, 11, 8, 9, 7, 1. 12, 11, 8, 9, 7, 1. Yes. So the last problem is a word problem. I was going to leave it for the end. So let's do the word problem. Okay. And by the way, if you have any questions, you can also send me, a worksheet, and I'll do the questions on the YouTube channel for you. Bailey's rectangular dog pen for his Irish must have an area of 300 square feet. So area must be 300 square feet. Okay. Also, the length must be 40 feet longer than the width. So the length must be 40 feet longer than the width. Find the dimensions of the pen. So the area has to be 300 square feet, and the length must be 40 feet longer than the width. So I've got that covered. The width is the width. So the area of a rectangular pen would just be length times width equals 40 plus dubs, right? W times W, and this is supposed to be 300, right? So I'm going to do that. 300, okay. So we end up getting 40W plus W squared, right? So I'm just going to do W squared on this side equals 300. So that means that W squared plus 40W minus 300 equals 0. Did it again. Why don't I just write it here? Okay, W squared plus 40W minus 300 equals 0. Okay, so I need two numbers that multiply to 300, add to negative 300, add to 40. I don't think I'll be able to figure this out. Let's see. Terms of a difference of 40, but add to 30 and 10, right? No, because that won't be negative. Yeah, that doesn't work. Because you can't do like negative 30, negative 10. because that'll be a negative. So that doesn't work. You can't do positive 10 either. So, okay, yeah, so here's what we're going to do. We're just going to do quadratic formula. So a equals 1, b equals 40, c equals negative 300. And so we are going to do w equals negative 40 plus or minus square root of 1600, that's 40 squared, minus 4 times 1 times negative 300, okay, all over 2. There's probably a set of numbers that could do it, but man, I am lazy, right? So 1600, I get plus 1200, that is 2800, is that right? So I need the square root of 2800, and so I get the square root of 2800 all over 2, okay? So what the heck is the square root of 2800? Let's see, let me use my calculator to do this. This is shameful. Should be able to do this by now. Let's see, 2800 square root. Yeah, so I get, and then divided by 2, I get that it's negative 20 plus or minus 26.45, 8 or whatever. So I end up getting an answer of minus 20. So if I take the minus, I get a negative for the width. That's a no-go. So it's got to be 6.458, okay, feet for the width. And so the length must be 40 units higher than that. So the length will be 46.458. So if I do a check, area equals length times width, I end up getting times 46.458 or whatever, end up getting approximately 300 square feet. So I'm good. There must have been a way to get it using just a rationalization or whatever, but I'm just going to leave it as decimals. So that's my area. So we're good, and we've finished off this miscellaneous set of questions for a first-year math course. Thanks for joining me. Subscribe, like, share, and comment, and yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.